ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we are continuing our discussion from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 19 today. So we have discussed till chapter 18.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay. So we are discussing the wonderful story of Prithu Maharaj. We have heard in the dynasty of Dhruva, the great king Anga appeared. So the storyline, as we have heard, Maitreya Muni told that Narad Muni described the story of Dhruva Maharaj in the assembly of Prachetas. Vidurji asked about who are these Prachetas? How did they meet Narad Muni? So Narad Muni, he starts describing the story of the dynasty of Dhruva, because Prachetas, they come in the dynasty of Dhruva Maharaj. In the dynasty of Dhruva Maharaj, one of the kings was Anga Maharaj, and his son was Vena, who was crooked, and ultimately he was killed by the sages. The sages churned the thighs of Vena, appeared Bahuka. Then they churned the arms of Vena, appeared a couple, Prithu and Archi. Prithu was the expansion of the plenary of the Palana Shakti, and Archi was the expansion of the goddess of fortune. In the last chapters, we heard all the sages and the professional reciters, they glorified Prithu Maharaj. In the course of glorification, they said Prithu Maharaj will level the earth, he will milk the mother earth, he'll perform 99 horse sacrifices, Indra will steal the horse, Prithu will hear the knowledge from Sanat Kumar. In response to all these things, the inquisitive Vidurji, he asked so many things, and Maitreya Muni started describing the story. Just give me 1 minute, I'll just change the speaker. Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu, बहुत clear आता है.
Okay, thank you. So, in the last chapter, we heard how Prithu Maharaj milked the earth. Various.
Previous thing was better, I think. There is little echoing in that. I'm not sure because
It was better.
previous one was better. It is little echo is there in this.
Okay. This is the general speaker which I use. Okay, anyways, I'll use the earphone one. So now in this chapter, Prithu Maharaj, Maitreya Muni starts describing the story of how Prithu Maharaj he performed 100 horse sacrifices. I'll recite the verse. Maitreya Uvacha Adhadikshata Raja tu Hayamedha Shatena Saha Brahmavarte Mano Kshetre Yatra Prachi Saraswati. Translation, please.
The great
The
sage,
great हाँ हाँ पढ़िए बबली बबली
my dear Vidura, King Prithu initiated the performance of 100 horse sacrifices at the spot where the river Saraswati flows towards the east. This piece of land is known as Brahmavarta and it was controlled by Swayambhuvaman.
Okay. Next verse. Tad abhipretya Bhagavan कर्मातिशयम् आत्मनः शतक्रतूनाम् अमृषे पृथोर्यज्ञ mahotsavam. Translation.
Hare Krishna. When the most powerful Indra, the king of heaven, saw this, he considered the fact that King Prithu was going to exceed him in fruitive activities. Thus, Indra could not tolerate, and great sacrificial ceremonies performed by King Prithu. Hare Krishna.
Now, Prithu Maharaj, he was engaged in performing various sacrifices for the pleasure of the Lord, for the welfare of the citizens. So now in this chapter, will be in this chapter from 19 to 22, this series of chapters, many wonderful life lessons for the devotees will be discussed. So much so that we'll hear how even Lord does not want to give up the association of his great devotees. We'll hear how when Lord appears in front of Prithu Maharaj, he doesn't want to leave the association of Prithu Maharaj. Lord was amazed by the qualities of Prithu Maharaj. Then we'll hear how Prithu forgives Indra, who did such a great mistake. We'll also hear how Prithu Maharaj, he preaches to all his citizens, how he represents the absolute truth. He very scientifically describes how one should be very careful in listening to bona fide people. And he logically presents and defeats many bogus philosophies. He will receive instructions from Sanat Kumar. He'll offer prayers to Lord Vishnu. So many things will be heard in this section of chapters. So now in this second verse, Indra is called as Bhagavan. The word used here is Tad Abhipretya Bhagavan. Who is the Bhagavan here? That is Indra. So we have heard in the previous chapters also a few times, who can be called as Bhagavan? Any powerful personality who displays some of the opulence of the Lord exceptionally, who is self-realized soul, who understands the purpose of life, they can be called as Bhagavan. So Indra, he is called as Shatakratu. Now, this is a very important word, Shatakratu, because he is Shatakratu, and that's why his nickname is Shakra. Sha, Sha, Shata mein se Sha, and Kratu ka Kra. So he is called as Shakra. So he is Shatakratu. That carries lots of importance, because when this is challenged, he doesn't mind doing anything. He is attached to his position. Shatakratu na mamrishe. Na mamrishe means he could not tolerate. When Prithu Maharaj, he started performing sacrifices, one after another, he performed 99 sacrifices. And it was intolerable for Prithu. He felt insecure. Srila Prabhupada, he describes in this purport about envy. This material world is characterized by envy. Prabhupada writes, in the material world, everyone who comes to enjoy himself for the Lord in it or lord it over material nature is envious of others. And this envy is there in everyone. That's why we are here in this material world. It is all originating from the envy towards the Supreme Lord. So Prithu, as he is performing sacrifice, Indra would not tolerate this. Prabhupada writes, Srimad Bhagvatam is meant for those who are not envious. Which verse says this? Bhagavatam is appreciated by those who are non-envious. And first verse,
Dharma project of
second verse, yeah. Dharma projita kaitavatra parmo nirmatsaranam. So those who are nirmatsara, they can appreciate Bhagavatam the fullest. Those who are sadhakas, those who have still envy, but they are on the path of purification, for them, they can appreciate little bit. It is like a person who is free of disease, free of jaundice, he can appreciate sugarcane juice the best. A person who is getting cured, he appreciates little bit. A person who is completely diseased, for him it is bitter. So the more we get purified, the more we will relish Bhagavatam. We will relish chanting. For now, our chanting is a very bitter experience for us. Many times, our ecstasy is 16वां काउंटर नीचे गया. जो आनंद है, वो आनंद बाकियों को नहीं पता चल सकता. Only a devotee can understand that bliss of chanting and completing 16th round. Because we don't have that much taste. Prabhupada writes, one who is not free from the contamination of envy cannot advance in Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness, however, if someone excels another person, the devotee who is excelled thinks how fortunate the other person is to be advancing in Krishna consciousness, devotional service. Such non-envy is typical of Vaikuntha. Typical. That is the ingrained feature of Vaikuntha. Any examples we have heard where there is no envy in spiritual world? Yes, any examples of third canto where some...
Yes, Prabhu. So when the Jai Vijay and Chatus Kumaras, when they see, so you are in duplicitous behavior. So there, he mentions.
Also, in when they're describing the kingdom of God, there they see the when Tulsi comes, all the mandara and all the
Correct.
things, they great
Yes.
respect giving way, and also saying
Mandara. All the birds also.
Bees.
Mandara kunda kura butpala champakarna punnaganaga parijata gandherchite tulasika bharanena tasyasmin tapam sumanaso bahumanayanti. They offer their respects to Tulsi because Tulsi is at the lotus feet of the Lord. And all the birds are there. Paravatanyabhrita saras chakravaka datyu kolahala vinamate. They are creating big sound. They feel silent. They become silent. Because Bhringadipe Harikatha. As if this bumblebee is singing, coming from the garland of the Lord. So this competition, it is healthy if it increases our desire for service. There should be a competition. Prabhupada increased that competitive spirit amongst devotees, but sometimes it became material. In the temple, there are two groups who are going to distribute books. They have bus parties. So one group, one person will get up early and he will puncture the tire of another bus so that they could not go, and we will go, will distribute more. That is unhealthy competition. Our competition should inspire others to serve better. Just like 10th Canto, when all the cowherd boys, they go, they see Krishna is in the forest, they start a race. Who will touch Krishna first? Aham purvam, iti samsprishya mire. They are running, thinking that seeing me run fast, my other friend will run faster. That is called as healthy competition. Otherwise, in this world, matsarta means par utkarsh asahishnuta. I can't tolerate how this person is going ahead of me. One may artificially appreciate, but internally he becomes insecure. So that's how it is so very important to understand this principle of matsarata. At least we should be aware that now I am becoming envious. The worst part is if we start thinking, मैं किधर envy कर रहा हूँ? I am just telling the facts. So if we at least know that this is my fault, then we'll work on it. Otherwise, we'll not even work on it. So people, the illusion they have is they think the more I have, the more I possess, the more people will love me. But the problem is they don't love us, they envy us. If we have something more what they have, more than what they have, they will say externally, oh, you have such a nice car, you have such a nice dress. And in the heart, why you have? I should be having all these things. So Indra, he is becoming envious. So now, in the next 7 verses, it is described how Indra, he is subdued by Prithu Maharaj in performance of all these yagyas. Yatra yagyapati sakshat bhagavan haririshvaraha anvabhuyat sarvatma sarvaloka guru prabhu. Translation.
Hello.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, is present in everyone's heart as Super Soul, and he is the proprietor of all the planets and enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices. He was personally present at the sacrifices made by King Prithu. Hare Krishna.
Yatra yagyapati sakshat. Lord himself was present. So Prithu Maharaj Prabhupada writes, he was a Shaktavesh avatar. Actually, he was a living entity. He acquired specific powers from Lord Vishnu. So Prabhupada describes about the Jiva Tattva and Ishvara Tattva. He clarifies that in this purport, how nobody can become God. He gives his powers to some living entity who is a great devotee. He doesn't give the in charge of all these Shaktis to a non-devotee. Prabhupada writes, Lord is a supreme controller. He is Ishvara. He is Purushottama. He exhibits his powers as Ishvara, as or supreme controller when he assures his devotee in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharman Parityajya. He cannot immediately make his devotee immune from all reactions caused by sinful life. He can immediately make one immune from all reactions if the devotee simply surrenders. Therefore, he is called as Sarvatma. Prabhupada is focusing on this word Sarvatma. So he focused on the word Sakshat, and he is Ishvara, he is Sarvatma, and he is Sarvaloka Guru Prabhu. So Prabhupada, he described all these things in the purport. He is Sarvatma, he is present in everyone's heart, and he is Sarvaloka Guru. He's a supreme teacher, sorry. He's a supreme teacher of everyone. And if you're fortunate enough to take lessons given by the Lord Krishna, our lives become successful. Next verse. Translation, please, somebody.
When Lord Vishnu appeared in the sacrificial arena, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the chief predominating personalities of every planet, as well as their followers, came with him. When he appeared on the scene, the residents of Gandharva Loka, the great sages, and the residents of Apsara Loka all praised him.
Next.
The Lord was accompanied by the residents of Siddha Loka and Vidyadhara Loka, all the residents of Diti and demons and the Ikshas. He was also accompanied by his chief associates, headed by Sunanda and Nanda.
Next.
Great devotees who were always engaged in the service of Supreme Personality of Godhead, as well as the great sages named Kapila, Narada, Dattatreya, masters of mystic powers, headed by Sanaka Kumara, all attended the great sacrifice with Lord Vishnu.
Yatra dharma dugha bhumi sarvakama dugha sati dogbhi smabhipsitan narthan yajamanasya bharata. Translation.
My dear
My
Vidura,
dear Guru, Prabhu, go ahead, Prabhu.
my dear Vidura, in that great sacrifice, the entire land came to like the milk producing Kamadhenu. And thus, by the performance of Yajna, all daily necessities of life were supplied.
So one interesting word used here in the 6th verse is Tat Sevanotsukha. Sevanotsukha means all these associates and all these personalities who are mentioned here, they were very, very eager to serve the Lord. Sevana Utsukha. That's why they are with the Lord. No one else can be with the Lord if they're not eager to serve the Lord. In the assembly, in the entourage of a president or a prime minister, only those who are serving him will be there. Nobody else will be there and serving very eagerly. No guard of prime minister and president can be callous. So all the devotees of the Supreme Lord, they are also very eager to serve the Lord. But the impetus for service in this world is money. But impetus for service in the spiritual world is love. So all these devotees who are mentioned here, they are very eager to serve the Lord. They are there. And in this sacrifice, yatra dharma dugha bhumi. So Mother Earth, she provided everything, whatever was needed for this sacrifice. Everything was provided by Mother Earth. So Prabhupada focuses on this word dharma dugha. How when somebody serves the Lord, everything else is provided for his maintenance. Prabhupada quotes this verse. Yagyarthat karmana anyatra. Prabhupada paraphrases that verse here. All the yagya and sacrifices should be done for the pleasure of the Lord. And when it is done for the pleasure of the Lord, then everyone gets the facilities. All the needs are fulfilled. The daily supplies are given. And then, of course, Prabhupada writes in Kali Yuga, none of these yagyas work. So there is only one yagya, yagya sankirtana praya yajanti hi sumedasaha. Prabhupada writes, if Sankirtan Yajna is performed, there will be no difficulty even in not even in industrial enterprises. Therefore, this system should be introduced in all spheres of life. Social, political, industrial, commercial. Then everything will run very peacefully and smoothly. So when Prabhupada speaks all these things that just chant and everything will be all right, it is not just a theoretical way of saying. Srila Prabhupada, he's speaking based on these Vedic principles which are mentioned in scriptures. In all the Vedic scriptures, all the saintly kings, because they had Krishna as center, so they naturally took care of the citizens like their children. They naturally did all the yajnas for the pleasure of the Lord, and all the necessities were provided. So it is not just a way of saying that, okay, bas chanting karo, sab ho jata hai. It is actually the case. If Prabhupada would always say that we want to create a prototype. Seeing this society of devotees, people should take inspiration. That's why he wanted to start, farmhouses, farm communities, and varnashram, so that he can present a prototype by which entire world can follow this. And even if somebody doesn't become devotees per se, at least they'll live a dharmic life, a sinless life, and ultimately that will make one peaceful. The earth was supplying everything. Next verse, the rivers were supplying everything. Translation.
The flowing river supplied all kinds of tastes, sweet, pungent, sour, and very big trees supplied fruit and honey in abundance. The cows, having eaten sufficient green grass, supplied profuse quantities of milk, curd, clarified butter, and similar other necessities.
So how the river supplies all these tastes? Because river, they make the land fertile. And the trees, they grow nicely, produce various types of fruits, roots, vegetables. And that's how these various types of tastes are provided. Prabhupada writes about that. Sugarcane provides sweet taste. Oranges provides the mixture of sour and sweet. Similarly, there are pineapples and other fruits. There are chilies for pungent taste. So if the rivers are normal, nicely flowing without contamination, all these vegetation grows nicely. And then Prabhupada writes, in this world, actually, arrangement is made for everyone to live properly. Complete arrangement for production of all the necessities of life is made by the Supreme Lord. People should learn how to satisfy the Yajna Purusha. Yasmin tushte jagat tushtam. That is the principle. When the Lord is pleased, naturally, Lord supplies all the necessities and the entire society becomes peaceful. The whole system is so arranged that the living entity must do his duty as he is constitutionally made. What is the constitutional position? To serve. And if we start serving our family, society, country, nation, humanity, it will give limited satisfaction. But if we serve the Lord, then it will make everybody actually peaceful and satisfied, because they will understand how to live happily in this world and in the next world also. Iha and paratracha, in this life and in the next life. Okay. And then Prabhupada writes how in this Kali Yuga, there are many big trees, but there is no sufficient fruits or honey. Okay. Then the oceans were also providing everything for the pleasure of Prithu Maharaj. Translation.
King Prithu was presented with various gifts from general populace and predominating deities of all planets. The oceans and seas were full of valuable jewels and pearls, and the hills are full of chemicals and fertilizers. 4 kinds of edibles were produced profusely. Hare Krishna.
So
How it is.
everybody was doing their duties nicely. Everybody was coming and offering their gifts to King Prithu. The ocean and the seas, they are the source of all the valuable jewels and the pearls. And the hills are full of chemicals and fertilizers. Prabhupada writes about that. The 4 types of edibles are What are the four types? Chaturvidha Shri Bhagavat Prasado. We chant every day, we sing every day. What are these four types of edibles? Charvya, Lehya, Chusya, and Peya. Charvya, those which are chewed. Lehya, those which are licked. Chushya, those who are sucked. Those which are sucked, and Peya, those which are drunk. So all these different types of edibles were provided by Mother Earth. And because Prithu was such a great king, everybody would come and they would give some gifts to King Prithu. Prabhupada writes, Prithu was greeted by all the residents of other planets also, and the presiding deities, and they would get nice gifts for him. It is indicated that the oceans and seas are meant for producing jewels. But in the Kali Yuga, oceans are mainly being utilized for fishing. That's how degradation has happened. Instead of getting jewels from the oceans, now we are getting fishes from the oceans. Although poor men would catch tons of fish, they would not be equal to value to one piece of coral or pearl. And nowadays we are producing fertilizers in the factories. All these fertilizers and minerals, they were given by the hills naturally in the past. Okay. Next verse. Iti chadhokshajeshasya prithostu paramodayam asuyan bhagavan indra pratighatam achikarat. Now, Prithu, when this Indra saw all these wonderful things given by everybody to Prithu Maharaj, he became really envious. And in this section, from 10th to 25th, Indra, he steals the sacrificial horse and he creates many apasampradayas, many bogus religionists. Okay, translation. So your voice is breaking, somebody else can read.
Can I go ahead, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna. King Prithu was dependent on Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Adhokshaja. Because King Prithu performed so many sacrifices, he was superhumanly enhanced by the mercy of Supreme Lord. King Prithu's opulence, however, could not be tolerated by King of Heaven, Indra, who tried to impede the progress of his opulence. Hare Krishna.
Asuya, he became envious because of the opulence of Prithu Maharaj. Indra, although he is avatar of the Lord himself, this entire story is happening in the first Manvantara. And anyone remembers who became Indra in the first Manvantara? You know, the Lord himself became Indra in the first Manvantara. That is interesting thing. Lord is himself playing the role of Indra, but Lord is telling the world how envy is so deadly that even Lord, when he becomes Indra, he gets envious. So that is the whole story of how even the Lord, he becomes envious. Of course, that is the pastime which he is showing to teach us a lesson. How we should be careful. Otherwise, the result will not be good. We just become envious. So Prabhupada focuses on three words: Adhokshaja, Bhagavan Indra, and Prithu. So the Lord, Prithu is called as Adhokshaja. Sorry, Supreme Lord is called as Adhokshaja, who is never perceivable by our senses. Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahyam indriya sevonmukhe jivada. We cannot perceive the Lord by our senses. That's why he's called as Adhokshaja. Aksha means eyes. Adha Akshaja, one who is not perceived by anything which is under the control of our senses, which is seen by our senses. The Lord cannot be seen by our senses. So Prithu, although he's an incarnation of Vishnu, he's a great devotee of Vishnu. He's an empowered incarnation, but still he's a living entity. And Indra is also no less. Prithu is empowered. Indra is also called as Bhagavan, exalted and powerful Indra. But Indra is also a living entity. So he is also affected. Of course, here Prabhupada is describing how generally Indra is a living entity. In this case, it is different. Any living entity has 4 defects. Despite his becoming Bhagavan, he is envious of the incarnation of Lord Prithu. The defects of material life are so strong that due to contamination, King Indra became envious of the incarnation of God. So Prabhupada is taking a different perspective. He is not bringing in that perspective that how Indra is also avatar in this Manvantara. Generally, Indra plays the role. Indra is a living entity. And how a living entity can be envious of Supreme Lord. We should try to understand, therefore, how a conditioned soul becomes fallen. The opulence of Prithu was not dependent on material conditions. He was a great devotee of Adhokshaja. The Supreme Personality appears before his devotee in his original form of bliss and knowledge, and the devotee is allowed to see the beautiful form of the Lord, although he is Adhokshaja. So the devotees of the Lord, they possess spiritual opulence, not material opulence. But Indra, he is envious of the material opulence of Prithu Maharaj. Oh, how is he having all this? He is doing all these yagyas. He'll become greater than me. So what he did? Charamena shomedhena yajamane yajushpatim venye yagya pashum spardhan apovaha tirohitaha. Translation.
When Prithu Maharaj was performing the last fast sacrifice, Ashwamedha Yajna, King Indra, invisible to everyone, stole the horse intended for the sacrifice. He did this because of his great envy of King Prithu.
Okay, Prabhupada writes, so Shata Kratu, how he didn't want anyone to excel him. Tam atrir bhagavan ikshat twaramanam vihayasa amuktam iva pakhandam yodharme dharma vibhramaha. Translation.
When the king Indra was taking away the horse, he dressed himself to appear as a liberated person. Actually, this dress was a form of a cheating, for it falsely created an impression of a religion. When Indra went into an outer space in this way, the great sage Atri saw him and understood the whole situation.
So the word used here is amuktam iva. Amuktam iva means as if he is a liberated person. So although he took the external dress of a liberated person, but what he was doing pakhandam. He was an imposter. Adharme dharma vibhramaha. He falsely created an impression of religion. Although it was irreligion, adharma, but dharma vibhramaha. He was behaving as if he's a great religious person, but actually he was a pakhandi. Pakhandi means one who cheats. So Prabhupada describes pakhanda is also pronounced sometimes as pashanda. One who pretends that he's God or he is more than what he is actually. He shows that he is something more than what he actually is. That is pakhanda. So Indra, he is behaving as if he is a great liberated personality, but he is not that. So Prabhupada writes, actually, Indra, what he did, he took saffron dress. He took up the saffron colored dress. And that's how saffron dress is misused by many impostors who present themselves as liberated and cheat people. Sometimes people say, oh, he's a god because he has just saffron dress. The conditioned soul, you have a tendency to cheat. And this is also visible in Indra. He's not free of that contamination. Amukta iva. The saffron dress worn by a sannyasi announces to the world that he has renounced all worldly affairs and is simply engaged in service of the Lord. So that is a sannyasi. Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karotiha sa sannyasi cha yogi cha. One who is sannyasi and yogi. What he does? He karyam karma karoti, he performs the activities, but anashrita karma phal. He's not taking shelter of the karma phal. People in this world, they work because they take shelter of the results. I want the results. That's why I'm working. But a sannyasi and yogi, he works. Sannyas and yoga, they may look different. Sannyas means detachment and yoga means attachment. But the purpose of both of them is same, should be the same. If somebody is just renouncing the world, sannyasa, and is not getting attached to the Lord, it has no meaning. And if somebody is yogi, naturally he will be detached from the world. So this sannyasi and yogi, Krishna uses the both terms. Sa sannyasi, cha yogi cha. So this person is sannyasi also and a yogi also. So Prabhupada writes about that. One who offers the results of the activities to the Lord is actually a sannyasi and yogi. Cheating sannyasis and yogis have existed since the time of Prithu Maharaj. And this cheating was very foolishly introduced by Indra. He didn't realize what he was doing. He was creating many apasampradayas by his cheating dresses. And Prabhupada writes, sannyasi should be very careful. Otherwise, Shukla Vastre, Mashibindu, Aishana Lokaya, Sannyasira, Alpachitra, Sarvalokagaya. If common people, they find a little fault in a sannyasi, they will exaggerate it. Sarvalokagaya, everyone will speak about that fault. So therefore, one should be very careful. Sannyasi should have a very spotless character. Otherwise, it will destroy the faith of people in general. So Prabhupada says, unless one is very sincere and serious, one should not take the order of sannyas. One should not use this order as a means to cheat the public. It is better not to take up sannyas because provocations are very strong, very difficult to maintain the highest standards. Because this entire world in Kali Yuga is surcharged with passion and ignorance. So unless one is really convinced, really strong, it is very difficult. Only a very exalted person should attempt to take sannyas. One should not adopt this for a livelihood. Okay. Atrina, now, as this Indra, he took the form of a sannyasi and he stole the horse and he went up in the air. Atri Rishi, who was the priest there, he saw him and he called the son of Prithu. The name is not given here. The son of Prithu Maharaj, he is called by the name, he'll be called by a nice name because he brought this horse.
Antardhan Prabhuji, Vijayasasva, Antardhan.
Vijitashva, he will be called as Vijitashva, yes, Vijitashva. He conquered over that horse, he brought that horse, that's why he'll be called as Vijitashva. Atrina chodito hantum prithuputro maharatha Anvadhavat sankruddhas tishta tishteti chabravit. Translation.
When the son of a king Prithu was informed by Atri of King Indra's trick, he immediately became very angry and followed Indra to kill him, calling, "Wait, wait."
Why he is not, why is calling him? Wait, wait. Because he didn't want to kill even a person who is dressed as a saintly person. Because he was a Maharathi, but he was a great devotee also. He was a very learned person. He's son of Ritu Maharaj, very great personality. So he was thinking, although this King Indra is doing all this, he has become degraded, but still, I will not kill him. I will not shoot him from the back. I will just catch him and then I will try to just do the needful without killing him. Prabhupada writes, a real Kshatriya does not kill the enemy from behind, nor does a real Kshatriya turns his back on the battlefield. So therefore he is saying, Tishta Tishtati, tam tadishakritim vikshya, mene dharmam sharirinam, jatilam bhasamachannam, tasmaivanam namunchati, bhasmanachannam. Translation.
King Indra was fraudulently dressed as a sannyasi, having knotted his hair on a smeared ash all over his body. Upon seeing such dress, the son of King Prithu considered Indra a religious man and pious sannyasi. Therefore, he did not release his arrows.
So because Atri, he told, oh, somebody is taking the horse. So Jitashva ran behind, but then he saw, ye to sannyasi hai. He's dressed as a sannyasi. He has ashes all over. He's bhasmana achannam, ashes all over the body. So he didn't kill him. He didn't release his arrows. And Indra took advantage of it. Vadhanivrittim tam bhuyo hantavayatri rachodayat jayagya hanam tata mahindram vibudhadhanam. Translation.
Atri
Okay,
Muni
that's
saw- When Atri Muni saw that the son of King Prithu did not kill Indra, but returned deceived by him, Atri Muni again instructed him to kill the heavenly king, because he thought that Indra had become the lowest of all demigods due to his impending the execution of King Prithu's sacrifice.
Hemam vainyasuta prokta swaramanam vihayasa anvadravat abhikruddho ravanam gridharadiva.
Being thus
Being
informed,
thus informed, the grandson of King Vena immediately began to follow Indra, who was fleeing through the sky in great haste. He was angry with him, and he chased him just as the king of the vultures chased Ravana.
So as now Atri told again, you have to kill Indra. He ran behind Indra again, just like Jatayu chased Ravana. Similarly, the son of Prithu Maharaj, Vainya's grandson, he chased Indra. Swashvam rupam cha tadhitva tasvantarhita swarat veera swapashumadaya pituriyagyam upeivan.
When Indra saw that the son of Prithu was
Chasing him.
chasing him, he immediately
Abandoned.
abandoned his false dress and left the house.
Horse.
Horse. Indeed, he disappeared from that very spot, and
And the great hero.
the great hero, the son of Maharaj Prithu, returned the horse to his father's sacrificial arena.
Okay, So the first time Vijitashva chased and he saw, "Hey, this is a sannyasi." He came back. Second time, Atri Muni told, "No, no, you have to kill him." Again he chased, like Jatayu chased Ravan. This time he was very angry. So Indra could understand that, okay, now he's really angry. I can't run away with the horse. So he gave up his false dress and he gave up the horse also. He disappeared immediately from that spot. And because this son of Prithu brought this Ashwa horse back, therefore, next verse translation will be described. He'll be called as Vijitashva. Translation, please.
Vijitashva.
My dear
My
Lord
dear Lord,
Vidura, when the great sages observed the wonderful
Prowess.
prowess of the son of King Prathu, they all agreed to give him the name
Vijitswa.
Vijitswa.
Okay, so they gave him the name Vijitashva, one who conquered over this horse. So Chakravarti Thakur writes, it should be understood that the same son was taught the art of disappearing also. So
Yes.
Vijitashva, he was also given the name Antardhan, as
Yes.
Prabhuji said. Yeah. Okay. Next verse, translation.
My dear Vidura,
Indra
Indra began to
being the
being the king of heaven and very powerful, immediately brought a dense
darkness.
darkness upon the sacrificial arena, covering the whole scene in the way.
In this way,
In this way, he again took away the horse, which was
chained with
chained with golden
shackles.
shackles near the wooden instrument where animals
Were sacrificed.
were sacrificed.
So now this is the third time Indra is trying to, just steal the horse. So he created an intense darkness. He is not giving up. He's so stubborn. He is hell-bent to steal the horse. That's how envy can go to. He is not realizing the great mistake he is performing. He's shamelessly doing all this in front of everyone. Chakravarti Thakur writes, creating a darkness in the guise of a heretic, Channa, he again stole the horse. So he stole the horse from the post. He took the horse tied with a golden rope which could not be cut. So this rope was so strong, golden rope, Indra could not cut that. So what he did, he just slipped that rope over the pillar, over the tip of the post, and then took away the horse again. Again, Atri saw this. Atri Muni, he was very alert. He was also determined to complete this sacrifice. He was the Yagya priest. Atri sandarshayamasa tvaramanam vihayasa kapala khatavanga dharanam viro nainam mada abadhata. So now Indra takes another form, another heretic, another apasampradaya. First time took the form of a saffron sannyasi, a liberated soul. Second time he covered himself with the ashes. Now third time what he's doing. Translation.
The great sage Atri again pointed out to the son of King Prithu that Indra was fleeing through the sky. The great hero, the son of Prithu, chased him again. But when he saw that Indra was a skull and was still not to kill him.
This time Indra, he took the form of a kapalik sannyasi. A sannyasi who carries a staff with a skull on the top of it. That is called as Kapalika Sannyasi. And Vijitashva, he also saw that, oh, Indra is taking the form of a Kapalik sannyasi and running away with the horse, but still he didn't kill him. He chose not to kill him. That's how the sentiments of people are so strong that even if they see some person cheating them, but the sentiments are so strong, still they say no, 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 no. Chhod dete hain. That's how ingrained the culture is. That's why Srila Prabhupada, they would always say that in India, the culture is like a dead elephant now. Although people don't know why they are doing what they are doing, but still they follow, they call the saintly people, they hear that saintly people are doing all the cheating, bogus gurus, but still they will call, they have a sentiment. That's what Vijitashva is also showing here. But Indra, this Atri Muni, he is not giving up. He is again and again telling, you don't leave this person, kill him. Atrina choditastasmai sandadev shikhamrusha swashwarupam cha tadhitva tasthava antarhitaswarat.
Translation. When the great sage Atri again gave directions, the son of King Prithu became very angry and placed an arrow on his bow. Upon seeing this, King Indra immediately abandoned the false dress of a sannyasi and giving up the horse, made himself invisible. Hare Krishna.
So this time, although Prithu, the son of Prithu Maharaj, he didn't kill him, but Atri pushed him. Atrida Chodita, inspired by Atri Muni, now Sandadev Shikhim, now he decided to kill. He placed his arrow and he was about to shoot. But again Indra disappeared. Again Vijitashva brought this horse back. Veerashasvam upadaya pitriyagya mathavrajat tad avadyam hare rupam jagrihu jnana durbala.
Then the great hero Vijitasva, the son of King Prithu, again took the horse and returned to his father's sacrificial arena. Since that time, certain men with a poor fund of knowledge have adopted the dress of a false sannyasi. It was King Indra who introduced this.
So Jnana Durbala, those with a poor fund of knowledge, those who don't understand the principles, they feel just by taking the dress, one can become a renunciant. So Prabhupada, he describes in Kali Yuga, there are some people who take the sannyas, but they don't understand the purpose of sannyas. There is Ekadandi sannyas, there is Tridandi sannyas. So Ekadandi sannyasis, they think that Danda Grahana Matrena Naro Narayano Bhavit. Just by taking a sannyas and danda, one becomes Narayan. But that is not the purpose of sannyas. Sannyas means completely dedicating life to serve the Lord. So this Indra, he introduced this false type of sannyas. Prabhupada writes there are many different kinds of sannyasi nowadays. Some go naked, all the Naga Babas. Then there are Kapalik sannyasis. All of them, they are introduced under some meaningless circumstance. And those who have a pure fund of knowledge accept these sannyasis, false sannyasis, and their pretenses, although they are not bona fide. There are some missionary institutions, without referring to Vedic rituals, they have introduced sannyasis. And these sannyasis, they externally take the dress of a sannyas, but they do all illicit activities also. They break all the 4 regulative principles. Prabhupada writes. And they give excuse also. Oh, it is so very cold to live in the Arctic zone, so we have to eat fish, meat, we have to drink alcohol. So what can we do? It is so very cold here. They cut animals. So all these are pakhanda. So pakhandi, Prabhupada quotes this second offense. What is pakhanda? Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahmarudradi Daivata Samitvena Viksheta Sapashandi Bhaved Dhruvam. Anyone who equates Lord Narayan with any other personality, Brahma, Shiva, all that, he's a Pashandi. Okay. यानि रूपाणि च गृहे इन्द्रो हय जिहीर्षया तानि पापस्य खण्डानि लिंगम खण्डम इहोच्यते. Translation.
Whatever different forms Indra assumed as a mendicant because of his desire to seize the horse were symbols of atheistic philosophy.
So, in 22 to 25 verses, it is described what was the result of Indra taking all these false dresses. So, in 22nd verse, what happened? So, all the different kinds of Pashandis emerged because they imitated Indra. Then, in this verse, whatever different forms Indra assumed, because of his desire to seize the horse, they were symbols of atheistic philosophy. Those who cover themselves with the ash, those who are kapalik, those who are pretenders, they are all atheistic. So that is what is described. So Indra, he became the founder acharya of all these false, sampradayas. Prabhupada writes, one should accept sannyas according to the parampara system of acharyas. And this is very, very prominent. These Naga Babas, they are very powerful in their preaching. If I tell you some of the statistics, you'll be shocked. Every Kumbh Mela, thousands of educated youth, they become Naga Babas. In 2019, Kumbh Mela, 10,000 youth became Naga Babas. So that's how they are also very strong in their preaching. We may be thinking, kaun karega aisa? There are youngsters, there are youth, there are people who are in search of self-realization still, but they get distracted by all these bogus, religionists. So it is our responsibility to preach more and more. If we won't speak the right philosophy, somebody will come and speak all the wrong philosophy. So that is what is happening nowadays. Again, Prabhupada quotes this verse. He's quoting this verse second time here. इसमें भी बोल रहे हैं, in 2 consecutive verses, he's speaking the same, quoting the same verse. Can you just see? Yastu Narayanam Devam. Yastu Narayanam Devam. So this Pashanda, it is so very deeply rooted in the society nowadays, because nobody follows the actual scriptures. Okay, so now in this 24 and 25 verses, all the various types of bogus paths are described. Translation, please.
In this way, King Indra, in order to steal the horse from the king Prithu's sacrifice, adopted several orders of sannyasa. Some sannyasis go naked, and sometimes they wear red garments and pass under the name of Kapalika. These are simply symbolic representation of their sinful activities. These so-called sannyasis are very much appreciated by sinful men because they are all godless, atheists, and very expert in putting forward arguments and reasons to support their case. We must know, however, that they are only passing as adherents of religion and are not so in fact. Unfortunately, bewildered persons accept them as religious and being attracted to them, they spoil their life.
So, who are these people which are mentioned here? Those who go naked, those who wear red garments, those who pass under name of Kapalika. Chakravarti Thakur writes all that in strong details, very clear. Naked persons refer to Jains. RRR. Wearing red cloth refers to Buddhists. Adi refers to the followers of Shiva who carry skull and others as well. So all of these are upadharma or adharma. They resemble dharma, but they are not dharma. So we should be very careful speaking these words. This is only for our discussion to understand where these religions stand when they are seen through the eyes of Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, Bhagavatam rejects any scripture, any religion which is not completely dedicated to serving the Lord. Dharma projita kaitavatra paramo nirmatsaranam. Even the so-called dharma, the mundane dharma, is rejected in Bhagavatam. So what to speak of all these other dharmas? Prabhupada writes how this Kali Yuga is an age of cheaters and cheated. Prayan alpayusha sabhya kalavasmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya upadrita. So this manda bhagya, what is this manda bhagya? Even if somebody has a long life, chalo alpayush nahi hai, but he is unintelligent. Okay, he's intelligent. He's not unintelligent. He has a long life. He is intelligent also. But the problem is he's mandabhagya. He is distracted by all the false gurus. Okay, he is not distracted by false gurus. He gets a nice guru, bona fide guru. But upadrita, always disturbed. He is not able to follow those instructions. So, Prabhupada writes, actually the only religion is surrender to the Lord. We must serve the Lord. That is the actual religion. All the other systems, they are not bona fide. All the other systems are not bona fide. So Srila Prabhupada is speaking all these words because he's speaking in Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam begins with Dharma Projita. Anything less than pure devotional service is rejected in Bhagavatam. So we should be very careful to speak these words in public. These words are only for those who are practitioners of Bhakti, those who are students of Bhagavatam. Otherwise, it will create dispute. It will create, some ill feelings. So we should be very careful how to present this knowledge. Tad abhigyaya bhagavan prithu parakramaha indraya kupito banam adattodhyat karmukaha.
Maharaj Prithu, who was celebrated as very powerful, immediately took up his bow and arrows and prepared to kill Indra himself because Indra had introduced such irregular sannyasa orders.
So now Prithu Maharaj, he thought, I have to take some decisions. I have to take things in my hand. It is enough. So Prithu understood that my son is very lenient. He is not killing Indra because Indra is taking the form of all these sages and Kapalika and all that. I will myself go and kill him. So he takes the bow in his hand and he is about to kill Indra. He is angry. Prithu Maharaj is angry because he has introduced so many religious systems. Prabhupada writes, following the footsteps of Prithu, all the heads of the state should be very careful and cut down all irreligious systems. Translation. Next verse.
When the priest and all others saw Maharaj Prithu very angry and prepared to kill Indra, they requested him, "O great soul, do not kill him. For only sacrificial animals can be killed in a sacrifice. Such are the directions given by Shastra."
So it is the actual standard that the person who is Yajman, who is organizing the yajna, who is the main person organizing, he should not he should be very, very pure in his actions. The place should be pure. The sacrificial arena should not be contaminated. No blood should fall anywhere in the sacrificial arena. So therefore, it is a responsibility of the priests to make sure that the things are happening in a pure, uncontaminated way. So as soon as they saw, oh, Prithu is about to kill Indra, they stopped him. That no, please don't kill, only sacrificial animals should be killed here. And then Prabhupada writes in the purport about animal sacrifice. Because whenever this animal sacrifice comes, Prabhupada makes sure to clarify this. It is not to kill, but to test the power of the mantra. And the animal is given a new life. Okay. Next verse translation.
Dear King, Indra's powers are already reduced due to his attempt to impede the execution of a sacrifice. We shall call him by Vedic mantras, which were never before used, and certainly he will come. Thus, by the power of our mantra, we shall cast him into the fire because he is your enemy.
Oh, Prithu Maharaj, all the priests, they're saying, you don't do all these things. हम है ना उसके लिए. We will do the needful. We will call him by mantras. So nowadays, this trend of all the bogus gurus, they are becoming very, very common. Prabhupada, he has discussed so many of these bogus gurus. Whenever somebody would come and he would talk to Prabhupada, Swamiji, what do you think about this person? What do you say about this person? Prabhupada would just ask this simple question. What is his philosophy? Prabhupada would always say we should never confront the person, confront the philosophy. So all the philosophies, all the disciples would tell, oh, this is the philosophy of this person. Prabhupada, sometimes he would accept it, sometimes he would say, oh, this is bogus, he would reject it. Just like there was one saint in the Christian tradition. I'm forgetting the name. Somebody asked about this saint. Prabhupada said, what is his philosophy? He said, Prabhupada, he says, Mother Nature, Sister Bird, and all that. So Prabhupada said, oh, this is very wonderful. This is the vision of a self-realized soul. When you see everybody as your brothers and sisters, that is universal brotherhood, because Krishna is Supreme Father. So that's how Prabhupada would sometimes defeat, sometimes he would accept, sometimes he would add something. So that's how this, and there is an entire book written on this, on the conversations, Beyond Illusion and Doubt. If anybody is interested in reading what Srila Prabhupada says about all the different philosophies of the world, please read this book, Beyond Illusion and Doubt. Very, very important. And most of the times, people, they're attracted to such gurus because they're expert in word jugglery. Nowadays, one of the most powerful gurus in India, if you hear his speech, he's expert in using very sophisticated language, very good English. But what is his philosophy? What is the end result? It is all vague. And people are attracted. क्यों कुछ करना नहीं है ना उसमें? I don't have to follow anything. I have to just accept him as my guru. That's it. So that is what is happening nowadays. There is one other person, Nityanand Baba. सुना रहेगा आप लोगों ने, किसी ने नाम? He has big hair. He owns an entire island,
Island, yes.
He has many followers, and if you hear him speaking, I've heard 2-3 small clips somebody had sent. मतलब हमको सुन सुन के ऐसा लगे क्या बोल रहा है ये। आई थिंक आई हैव शोन यू सम ऑफ द क्लिप्स आल्सो। एक बार दिखाया था मैंने नित्यानंद बाबा का, क्या क्या बोलता है वो। अभी दिखाओ क्या मैं, दिस
Yes, Prabhuji. Earlier also you showed him could not understand what he was speaking.
हाँ वो एकदम ऐसा, नहीं समझा तो अच्छा है, समझ गया तो गड़बड़ है।
समझ ही नहीं आया।
समझ गया मतलब हम में गड़बड़ है, समझना नहीं चाहिए वो क्या बोल रहा है। दिखाता हूँ आपको, दोबारा दिखाता हूँ जिसने नहीं देखा है। हम्म।
Amazing part is how people are getting fooled that they have gifted him the island and everything. My God.
Just a minute, I'm just setting this. Okay.
Correct.
To not MC square cannot be MC square. What is equal to not E equal to not MC square cannot be MC square. What is MC square? The difference between intensity and continuity. What is energy? What is matter? Matter is continuity, energy is intensity. MC. What do you call as matter? Anything continue. What do you call as energy? Anything intense. The intensity and continuity is separate for a non-veg crooked brain which has seen only ups and downs. Only a vegetarian brain which can retain the experiences continuously without losing the intensity can understand M and C is not MC. It is MC. E equal to not MC.
आप लोगों को समझ गया ना MC
कुछ
स्क्वायर क्या
समझ
होता
गया।
है? और भी एक बार, एक ये काफी आज के लिए। ओके,
What people understand it.
दो तीन अच्छे वीडियो हैं उसके। चलो एक और दिखाता हूँ। जस्ट अ मिनट।
Each of the God is infinitely powerful, potential, and this infinity is not bound by only one. Infinite infinities.
Infinite infinities.
See, even the one God religions also accept infinity of that one God.
Yes.
Infinity of the one God is a mentally retarded theory. How can infinity be only one?
Infinity cannot be one. It is
So,
many. It is infinite.
Oneness only can be infinity,
Yes.
not one.
Yes.
So infinity is self-conflict. Infinity of one is a self-conflict mentally retarded theory. See, what I am saying, infinity is the peak conception, visualization, fantasy of logic, length. When somebody's logic is very, very deep and broad, the highest he can grasp is infinity. Unfortunately, his whole energy is sucked by the intellect. He has grasped the infinity, but his heart is left with no energy. That is why he did not grasp the infinity is infinity, not one.
Not one.
When we don't have a heart, only head, we consume infinity only one. When we have enough head and enough heart, we understand infinity, infinity.
Okay, thank you. So that's how bogus philosophies are going on. And people, they hear it, they accept it. So there's a great need to preach the actual philosophy. Otherwise, these bogus philosophies are very prominent. So these sages, the priests, they are telling in Prithu Maharaj, you don't kill. We will call him, we will kill him. And priests had that power. Prabhupada writes, Chakravarti Thakur writes. So Indra, Prithu Maharaj, he says, okay, if you are telling me not to kill, what is the remedy? What should I do? We will call him using beckoning powers, Avahan Mantra, whose power is not worn out. Though this particular Indra was an avatar of the Lord, and the priests were not materialists. They spoke in this way to show the nature of those following the path of karma. Even intelligent persons on this path become blind. That is very important. Just a minute. So intelligent persons on this path become blind. As Brahma become blind by lust, Shiva becomes blind by anger. The nature of Indra is such that, the post carries a particular vibration. The post has a particular type of influence. That Indra post has that influence that even the Lord becomes Indra. He also gets into all this. He has envy, he has crookedness. Okay. So Maitreya Muni, he is now speaking. Translation.
My dear Vidura, after giving the king this advice, the priests who had been engaged in performing the sacrifice called for Indra, the king of heaven, in a mood of great anger. When they were just ready to put the oblation in the fire, Lord Brahma appeared on the scene and forbade them to start the sacrifice.
They started doing the sacrifice. So it is the responsibility of great leaders to be very careful. If the leaders, they do something wrong, apparent wrong, then everything will be destroyed. Everything will be lost. So Indra, he is the leader and he is doing something wrong, and he created entire religion, apasampradaya, bogus philosophy. So we should be very, very careful to avoid making some wrong decisions, crucial decisions, which will affect our life. So Prithu Maharaj, he is making a swift decision. I will kill him. They say, no, you don't do it. There is a way. We will do it. So Prithu Maharaj and all these sages, they are thinking the easiest way is to kill Indra. He is creating such a havoc. We'll kill him. But Lord Vishnu didn't think like this. Lord Vishnu was not pleased by this. In a project or in an institution, when you do something very fast, it is likely that you put some devotees in trouble. We may get things done, but because of the harshness in our dealings, the devotees are hurt. And the Lord is not pleased by that. So we should be very, very careful. When we are doing something fast, we should be careful not to offend. Otherwise, institutionally, we may be successful, but individually we lose. Individual success and institutional success both are important. So here, all these sages and these Prithu Maharaj is thinking, let's kill Indra, Kam Khatam. But Lord Vishnu was not pleased. So therefore, he will come now. He'll send Brahmaji first. Brahmaji appears here, as we can see in this verse. Lord Brahma appeared on the scene and forbid them to start the sacrifice. They're about to do it. Anyone remembers anywhere else this has happened? The sages were about to call Indra and burn him. You know, when Janmajay, he came to know, Janmajay is the son of Parikshit Maharaj. When he came to know that Takshak killed my father, he became so angry. That time, Janmajay was a small child. When he grew up, he came to know that Takshak killed my father. He became so angry. He called all the priests and said, I want to destroy this entire race of snakes. So they started doing again. You know, all the big snakes were falling in the fire sacrifice. But Takshak was not coming. So Janmejaya asked the priests, what is happening? Why Takshak is not coming? I'm interested in Takshak more. So the sages said what to do. Indra is protecting Takshak because Indra was friend of Takshak. So Janmejaya said, Acha, okay, you do one thing. You call Indra along with Takshak. We'll burn them both. So the sages, they started chanting mantras, and Indra, he fell from his heavenly throne. At that time, again, Brahmaji came. And Brahmaji has to always do this firefighting. ये क्या कर रहे हैं लोग? ये इंद्र को मारने का टाइम पे इंद्र को मार रहे हैं. अरे, if Indra is dead, who will run the whole show? It is not so easy. He may be doing all the garbad, but he is the most crucial person. You can't kill him. So here again, Brahma is there. And he told, don't kill Indra. Navadhyo bhavatam indro yadyagyo bhagavattanuhu yam jigham satayagyena yasheshtastanavasura. Translation.
Hare Krishna. In order to make trouble and impede the performance of King Prithvi's...
Verse number 30.
Sorry. Lord Brahma addressed them thus, my dear sacrificial performer, you can't kill Indra, the king of heaven. It is not your duty. You should know that Indra is good as Indra is as good as supreme personality of Godhead. Indeed, he is one of the most powerful assistant of the personality of Godhead. You are trying to satisfy all the demigods by performance of his yajna. But you should know that all these demigods are but parts and parcel of Indra, the king of heaven. How then can you kill him in the great sacrifice? Hare Krishna.
They were about to call Indra and burn him, kill him. So Brahmaji immediately comes and says, Arey Baba, he is not an ordinary person, he is a personification of sacrifice. Indra, he is personification of sacrifice. How can you kill the personification of sacrifice, Indra, by sacrifice? All the sacrifices are ultimately meant to please Indra, who is the assistant of the Lord. It is like throwing a small amount of milk in the fire. Moreover, by all the sacrifices, we are worshipping Devtas. And Indra is the head of all the Devtas. How can you kill the head? And how can he die? Don't waste your energy. You can't kill Indra. So now, Brahmaji is very strongly teaching that you should not kill Indra. It is not an ordinary thing. So although Indra, he has become weak, because the word used here is, Indra's powers are already reduced due to attempt to impede the execution of your sacrifice. Sages are saying, priests are saying, you don't have to do anything, already kamjor hai. Because he has offended. Anybody who offends, anybody who stops the Vedic rituals, anybody who is against the Lord, naturally his energy decreases in due course of time. Ayu, Shriyo, Yasho, Dharma, Lokan, Ashisha, Evacha, Hanti, Shreyamsi, Sharmani, Pumso, Mahadatikrama. Anybody who offends the great personalities, his Ayu decreases, Yash, Shri, Lokan, Ashish, Dharma, everything goes down. So we'll kill him, don't worry. But Brahmaji says, no, you can't kill him. Now, he describes many things. He says, first of all, in this verse, he says 4 things. It is not your duty to kill Indra. You mind your business. This is not your duty to kill Indra. Second, he is as good as Supreme Lord. Third, he is the most powerful assistant of the Lord. And fourth, Yajna is meant to satisfy the demigods, and Indra is the head of the demigods. So how can you kill the head? So it is not good. Next verse. Translation, please.
In order to make trouble and impede the performance of King Pruthu's great sacrifice, King Indra had adopted some means that in the future will destroy the clear path of religious life. I draw your attention to this fact. If you oppose him any further, he will further misuse his power and introduce many other irreligious systems. Hare Krishna.
So Brahmaji is very logically, rationally, he is describing the situation. He says, first of all, the question is, why Prithu Maharaj is performing the welfare of the world? Why he is performing the sacrifice? For the welfare of the world, right? If Indra is killed, will the Lord be pleased? Because Indra is the head of all the devtas. And will the demigods be pleased? If they lose the leader, will they be pleased? And if the demigods are not pleased, and they don't receive their yajna oblations, they'll become weak. Because the head is not there. How will they receive? They'll become weak. They'll be attacked by the demons. Entire world will be in turmoil. Everybody will be unhappy. So the more you try to kill him, the more irreligion will progress. The more peace will be destroyed. And Indra to rukne wala nahi hai. Indra will create more and more havoc. He is hellbent. He will create more irreligious systems. So ultimately, understand the purpose. Don't just see the immediate, results. See the long-term consequence. Any action should be seen from short-term and long-term point of view. You're just seeing the short-term point of view. You're not seeing the long-term consequence. And that requires a visionary to see the long-term consequence of an action. We hear the story Prabhupada tells. One time there is a herd of monkeys. They were staying in the garden of king. And one day, a monkey went and there was a kitchen of the king nearby. So this monkey went to steal something from the kitchen. So the cook of that kitchen, he took out one splinter from the burning fire and threw it at the monkey. So this monkey came back and monkey escaped. He came back and told everything. The leader of the monkeys, he said, this is a very, very grave, concerning thing. We should leave this place immediately. Well, what? All these monkeys are thinking, kya bol rahe? What is the connection? Why we should leave? So the eldest monkey, he is a very wise monkey. उसने दुनिया बहुत देखी है. He has wisdom. So he tells, you know what? Today, this cook threw that wooden burning splinter and nothing happened to you. Please understand, nearby this garden, there is this horse stable of the king. And the king is very fond of the horses. You know what will happen next time? You'll go again to steal something, and the cook will throw the wooden burning splinter. And if the burning splinter falls on the thatched hut roof of that stable, horse stable, it will start burning. And if the horse stable starts burning, the horses will get burnt. And if the horses get burnt, the king will become really anxious. He'll call the Ayurvedacharya, the veterinary doctor. And veterinary doctor, you know what he'll say? The best treatment for the burns of a horse is the fat of monkeys. So what king will do, you know? He will order to catch all the monkeys and we'll all be killed. So we should leave this place immediately. So all these monkeys, they think कुछ ज़्यादा ही सोच रहा है. No, he's thinking too much. क्या connection है इसका और उसका? So when seniors, they tell something, they have the long-term consequence. In due course of time, the same thing happened. Prabhupada tells the story. So Brahmaji, he is telling, if you oppose Indra further, he will create irreligious systems. And this will be worse than Vena. Because at least in the time of Vena, ordinary public, general people, they knew dharma. But this Indra will create so many religious systems, entire dharma will be destroyed. So ultimately, the priests, they say, okay, theek hai, Brahmaji, we accept. Now tell us what we have to do. Now this 32nd is a very wonderful verse. The essence of this entire chapter. We'll recite this. Prithu kirte prithor bhuyat
पृथ्वी कीर्ति पृथ्वी भूया
tarhi eko nashatkratuh
Hari eko nashatkratuh.
alam te kratu bhishvishtai
Alam te
अलं ते पृथिभूः
yad bhavan moksha dharmavet.
Let there be only 99 sacrificial performances for Maharaj Prithu. Lord Brahma concluded. Lord Brahma then turned towards Maharaj Prithu and informed him that since he was thoroughly aware of the path of liberation, what was the use in performing more sacrifices?
So Brahmaji says, please understand, Prithu Maharaj, for you 99 is bigger than 100. For you 99 sacrifice is greater than the 100 sacrifice of Indra. Pritho kirte. By this, by not performing the 100th sacrifice, your fame will be greater than the fame of Indra. Prithu kirti. Prithu kirti means huge fame. Let there be huge fame for Prithu by his 99 sacrifices. Ekonashat. Because what else you need to be gained by all this 100th one? You have already become famous. You have already achieved the result of 100th one without doing the 100th one. So therefore, please be satisfied with the 99 sacrifices. Alam te kratubhi. What is the use of performing more? Yad bhavan moksha dharma, because Prithu is already aware of the path of liberation. You know, interesting thing what is happening here is, यहाँ पे गड़बड़ कौन कर रहा है? Indra is doing all the garbad. बार he is stealing the horse. And ब्रह्मा जी आके डांट किसको रहे हैं? किसको डांट पड़ रही है यहाँ पे? Who is being chastised there? Why? Why? गलती किसकी? डांट किसको पड़ रही है? What's the logic here? Anyone can tell?
Sometimes elders they chastise their sincere kids rather than the child who is already naughty, because they have more expectations from the sincere children than
या बड़े वाले को ही डांट पड़ती है हमेशा, चाहे छोटा गलती करे, छोटा कितना भी गड़बड़ करे, कितनी भी शैतानी करे, मम्मी आके किसको डांटती है? बड़े वाले को डांट। बोले तू तो बड़ा है ना, तेरे को समझना चाहिए ना, वो झगड़ा कर रहा है, तू क्यों झगड़ा कर रहा है? इफ ही वांट्स टॉयज गिव हिम ना, व्हाई आर यू फाइटिंग विद हिम? You are big person, you understand this. So just like Brahmaji, he understands. Hey, Indra, he is like a small naughty child. He is stubborn child. Prithu, you are more mature person, right? You please be satisfied. तुम झगड़ा बंद करो यार. वो इंद्र तो सुधरने वाला नहीं, वो तो शैतान है. You stop. And for you, if you stop, your 99 will be greater than 100th one. Because by stopping at 99, you will get the blessings of Vishnu. And you will please Indra also. You will please Devatas also. And you will get liberation also. So you have achieved everything by doing 99. So the combined effect of 99 plus all these, blessing of Vishnu, blessing of Indra, blessing of Devatas, liberation, it is much greater than 100th one. So Chakravarti Thakur writes, Prithu Maharaj is asking, okay, what are you suggesting I do? क्या करना है मेरे को बोलो? 99 sacrifices is a greater number. He says 99 is greater than 100. Okay. This will give him greater fame than Indra. So all these sages, they are asking, क्या करना है? बोले 99 is greater than 100 for Prithu. By that, his fame will be complete. This will happen because of my blessings. Brahma says, I am pleased. I'll be pleased if you stop. The number 99 is specifically mentioned being one short of 100. Ekon Shat Kratu. One less than 100. That number is perfect for Prithu. Though his vow is incomplete, by my blessings, that 99 becomes perfect. So what else do you need? You want blessings, right? You want the blessings of Lord Vishnu? I'll give you my blessings. So don't worry. And then, interestingly, Brahma ji didn't chastise Indra at all. ऊपर से आशीर्वाद देके जा रहे हैं अभी वो. नैवात्मने महिंद्राय रोषमाहर्तुमरसि उभाव अपि हि भद्रं ते उत्तम श्लोक विग्रहौ. Translation.
Lord Brahma continued, let there be good fortune to both of you, for you and King Indra are both part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of God. Therefore, you should not be angry with King Indra, who is non-different from you. Hare Krishna.
अरे गुस्सा मत करो, इतना सब उसने किया और आप बोल रहे हैं गुस्सा मत करो. अरे he is not different than you. You are also avatar. He is also avatar. तो दो अवतार क्यों झगड़ा कर रहे हैं? So be satisfied, be pacified. Okay. So that is the wonderful thing which is happening here. So here, Brahmaji, by his expert, vision, he is bringing out the best of both. A leader should be expert in bringing out the best of people, not the worst. Anyone can tell me any examples where somebody brought the best out of someone in disturbing situations. And somebody brought out the worst out of that, of a person in that situation. One example is Suruchi brought out the worst out of Dhruva. He was angry, hissing like a snake, angry towards Suruchi. And Suniti brought out the best of Dhruva. Dhruva, go to Lord Vishnu, Tameva Vatsashraya Bhritte Vatsala. He will give you everything. What your stepmother is saying is true. Any other examples anyone remembers? In the story in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Ramchandra Khan sent that prostitute, he wanted to bring out the worst out of her. Haridas Thakur brought out the best of her. Prasiddha Vaishnavi Hoila Parama Mahanti Bada Bada Vaishnava Tara Darshane Tyanti. She became the best devotee of the Lord. She would chant 3 lakh names every day. So that is, a great personality. Srila Prabhupada, when he went to America, he brought out the best of worst people, the hippies. They were transformed into happies. So it is very important to understand that if we act in a way that people can give their best response, that is the best welfare activity. Sometimes we act in a way to bring out the worst of people. Brahmaji is acting in a way to bring out the best of both. Best of Indra also, best of Prithu also. And just because of this, another example is Jai Vijay and 4 Kumaras. The Lord came out and told, "Ye meri galti hai, this is my fault. A servant is not responsible. The master is responsible. I am ready to lop off my own arm if it is found hostile to Brahmanas." And interestingly, both are thinking, "Arey baap re, humne kitni badi galti kar di." Jai Vijay is thinking the same. 4 Kumaras are also thinking. So Lord is also bringing out the best. So that's how, our actions should be such that they bring out the best of people. And Prithu Maharaj, he is mature enough to accept the decisions of Brahmaji. We should have that faith and confidence in our superiors and authorities that if we follow what they are saying, they'll bring out the best of us. So Prithu, he's agreeing to the decision of Brahma. If he would have become angry, he said, "Oh, why should I follow? Why are you chastising me? I didn't make any mistake. You are telling me also only." So Brahma is expert. On the other hand, we heard in the story of Daksha. Daksha was becoming angry on Lord Shiva. He left. All the sages were telling Daksha, "Please don't leave the sacrifice." He didn't listen. He left. So that's how, when we follow the superiors, the results are good. So now, Brahmaji is telling, give up your anger. Both of you are part and parcel of the Lord. The entire citizens are seeing you. मतलब ऐसा एकांत में थोड़ी ना हो रहा है ये युद्ध. The entire praja is seeing this. ये 2 बड़े लोग झगड़ा कर रहे हैं. And it's so very disheartening, when we see some superiors fighting. The subordinates, their faith gets shaken. What to speak of if Supreme Lords, avatars are fighting? How disturbing it would have been for the citizens. So Brahmaji is telling, "Arey Baba, if you do something wrong, and if you are fighting entire citizens, all citizens will be disturbed, bewildered, everything will fall apart. So you're not seeing the larger picture, you are just seeing the small term consequences. Don't do this." Now, in 34th verse, Masmin Maharaja Kritasma Chintam निशाम्य यस्मात् वचाद्रितात्मा यध्यायतो दैव हतुं न कर्तुं मनोतिरुष्टं विशते तमोन्धम्. Translation.
My dear king, do not be agitated and anxious because your sacrifices have not been properly executed due to prudential impediments. Kindly take my words with great respect. We should always remember that if something happens by prudential arrangement, we should not be very sorry. The more we try to rectify such reversals, the more we enter into the darkest regions of materialistic thought.
Very, very wonderful verse, Brahmaji speaking. Lots of life lessons. Now, this can be applied in our day-to-day life. Very, very important. He says, O Prithu Maharaj, please understand the consequence of what you are doing. Masmin Chinta Maharaj, please don't be agitated. Don't be anxious. Nishamya, please hear. Asmad, my words. Asmad vacha. Adritatma, with respect. क्या बोल रहा हूं? प्लीज ध्यान से सुनो. यध्यायतो दैवहतुम. अरे, your sacrifices, they have not been executed due to providential impediments. Everything went good. You did your best. You tried your best. But something has come up. It is arrangement of the Lord, providence. Mano atirushtam. We should always remember that if something happens by providential arrangement, we should not be very sorry. The more we try to rectify, the more we enter into the darkest region. You know, when we think, why this has happened in my life? Everything was going good. Suddenly this thing has come. I will try to find out this remedy. Will be more and more implicated in this negativity. And this will be not good for us. Darkest region of materialistic thought. This is very, very important to understand. The more we try to rectify such reversals, the more we enter into the darkest region. Prabhupada writes, sometimes the saintly or very religious people also has to meet with reversals. Such incidents should be taken as providential. Every line, this 4 line ka state purport hai, but very powerful. Although, again, very important statement. Although there may be sufficient cause for being unhappy, one should avoid counteracting such reversals. For the more we become implicated in rectifying, the more we enter into the darkest regions of material anxiety. This is very powerful. क्यों हो रहा है मेरे साथ? क्या हो रहा है? सब कुछ तो ठीक चल रहा था. Why this has come in my life? Why me only? होता है ना, सबके साथ ऐसा होता है. Everyone has gone through this. The more we try to rectify, the more we will be agitated. Accept. Okay, this has come. This is how the Lord wants me to, serve. This is what is given by the Lord. I will accept it. We should tolerate things instead of becoming agitated. That is very important. The more we get disturbed, it will not help anyone. We'll just disturb everyone else. If we get agitated, we will disturb everyone else. Just like Srila Prabhupada, when he saw his factory burning in front of him, what he said? He spoke that verse. Yasyaham anugrihnami harishye tadhanam shanai. Oh, when the Lord shows special mercy, he takes away everything. So we should be very, very careful. Very, very careful. One of the limbs, 64 limbs of devotional services, Shokadi anavartita. Ananuvartita. One should not be too much disturbed in difficult times. If something has come by providence, you didn't plan for it, you didn't do anything wrong, you did your best, you did your bhajan properly, you did your chanting properly, you did your seva properly, you prayed every day. Still, this calamity has come. Still, these wrong things are coming in the mind. Why? Just accept it and accept it as a plan of the Lord. Our Lord is showing interest in you. That's why this is happening. God has specially brought this for us so that we can become more intense. And sometimes we should become little, if our anarthas are troubling us, we should sometimes become, बोलते हैं ना, निर्लज. ठीक है भाई, I am like this. What can be done? But I will serve. I will not leave. Whatever the Lord has given, okay, I am like this, but I will continue serving. I will not go. Sometimes that type of thing also works. Otherwise, disturbance, agitated. The more we try to rectify, क्यों हो रहा है, क्यों हो रहा है, क्यों हो रहा है, मेरे मन में ऐसा क्यों आ रहा है, मेरे जीवन में ऐसा क्यों आ रहा है, ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, सब कुछ तो ठीक चल रहा था. The more we enter into the darkest region of materialistic thought. Materialistic, it is completely materialistic thought. Because mind is expert in magnifying our problems, imagining pleasure, neglecting the reality, neglecting the opportunity and denying the reality. So very important instruction Brahmaji is giving. Do not be agitated if something comes by providential arrangement. Okay.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sometimes when things reversals happen, how do we know it is providential arrangement? It's not because of our karma.
मैंने तो कितने बार बताया है.
I know you have told, but I think that thing is not sinking deep in the heart. You told for devotees, it's always Krishna's thing. We should have faith in it.
तो आप तो आंसर दे ही रहे हैं, अभी मैं क्या बोलूं अभी.
Please give a message that I can accept and follow it in my life.
हाँ, मैं भी वही ट्राई कर रहा हूँ अपने जीवन में फॉलो करने का, इसलिए मैं ये सब बोल रहा हूँ. मैंने भी सुना है. I am also work in progress. It is not that I am up there speaking all this. I am also going through. Every sadhaka goes through this. So we have to just help each other. We have to hear the same thing every time. But when we hear from some devotees, then sometimes those things hit us. हाँ यार, बराबर बोल रहे हैं. I have heard this many times, but this time it hit me. Because we humbled ourselves and we approached a devotee and asked, भाई क्या करना है बताओ मेरे को. And he will say the same thing. And he will give us some bad words also. And rascal, nalayak, kya hai ye nonsense, you're wasting your time. And then he'll say the same thing. But it makes a huge difference. So nothing happens in the life of a devotee, or for that matter, everything is ordained by the Lord only, either directly or indirectly, either through Maya Devi or Yog Maya, Mahamaya or Yog Maya. Of course, for pure devotees, it is Yog Maya. But Lord is working through Mahamaya for sadhakas also. So it is all Lord's action plan for a devotee. So we should always, keep discussing our problems, sharing our heart with senior devotees, not just senior devotees. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं कि senior के पास जाना. Equals are also powerful enough to give us right solutions when we are in difficult situations. Because every devotee has some jewel of realizations. We should not underestimate any devotee. कि भाई ये क्या बताएगा मेरे को. Everybody has something. क्योंकि सबने इतना घिसा है ना, सब लोग बेचारे 10 20 30 साल से यहाँ पे माला घिस रहे हैं, तो सबको कुछ ना कुछ साक्षात्कार है, सबने पिटाई झेला है ना. Everybody has gone through a lot in their lives. Everybody has found out their ways of coming out of the difficult situations. So just take shelter of devotees and they'll tell us something. And if we are sincere enough, prayerful enough, then we will also come out of the situation.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, so I think we can finish 3 more verses. This section will get over. Okay, translation. Next verse. Brahmaji continues.
Lord Brahma continued, "Stop the performance of these sacrifices, for they have induced Indra to introduce so many irreligious aspects to you should know very well that even among the demigods there are many unwanted.
Okay, so Brahmaji, he is now continuing. He's telling, please stop this, because don't think that devatas are free of faults. Indra is envious. Anyone in this material world has faults, has anarthas. So don't think Indra is free of faults. But please stop this yagya. Otherwise, he will create more problems. Prabhupada writes, Lord Brahma's purpose was to end the competition between Indra and Prithu Maharaj. Because Prithu was a great devotee and incarnation of Lord, he was requested to stop the sacrifices so that Indra might not introduce irreligious systems. Okay, next verse. Translation, please.
Just see how Indra, the king of heaven, was creating disturbances in the midst of sacrifices by stealing the sacrificial horse. These attractive sinful activities he has introduced will be carried out by the people in general. Hare Krishna.
So he's saying, if you don't stop, people will follow you. Yadyadatarti Thrishta Tattadeve Tarojana. Prabhupada writes how Brahmaji thought that instead of allowing Indra to introduce further irreligious systems, better to stop. A similar stance was taken by Lord Buddha. Oh, you are killing all these animals? Where it is mentioned? Vedas they mention. Okay, stop the Vedas. Reading of the Vedas. Reject the Vedas. So similarly, Brahma is saying, stop the sacrifices. Sacrifice is good, but the sacrifice is creating more problem. And then again, Prabhupada writes, कलयुग में तो ये सब चलता नहीं है, कलयुग में संकीर्तन यज्ञ ही चलता है. Next verse. Translation, please.
O King Prithu, son of Bena, you are the part and personal expansions of the Lord Vishnu. Due to mischievous activities of King Bena, religious principles were almost lost. At that opportune moment, you descended as the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Indeed, for the protections of religious principles, you have appeared from the body of King Bena. Hare
So in
Krishna.
37 and 38 verses, Brahmaji is reminding Prithu why you have appeared. You have appeared to establish dharma, but by your 100th sacrifice, Indra is creating a dharma. So please stop it. Prabhupada writes, when Prithu descended as avatar, it should be understood that he is Shakti Avesh avatar, specifically empowered by the Lord. Any living being acting as an incarnation is thus empowered by Lord Vishnu to preach Krishna Shakti Vina Nahi Tara Pravartan. one time, Prabhupada was giving a talk on the BBC, and the BBC person asked, Swamiji, you're talking about all these kings and how the Vedic kings were. Is there anybody in the world who is qualified to be the king now of the world? So as he asked this, the tape recorder ran out, the tape. So the further answer of Prabhupada could not be recorded. Prabhupada said, yes. He put his cane down. He said, yes, me. I am qualified to be the king of the world. Of course, Prabhupada, another times he said, I'll be the guru of the king. So it is so wonderful that anybody who is empowered by the Lord can spread this message of bhakti. If one criticizes or finds faults in such an empowered personality, one is considered to be an offender against Lord Vishnu and is punishable. Even though such offenders may dress as Vaishnavas with false tilak and mala, they are never forgiven by the Lord if they offend a pure devotee. So it is very important to understand that Srila Prabhupada, when he is writing all these, he is writing his own experience. When he came to India, some of his god brothers, they tried to demean his activities in the West. Some of them said, oh, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami was a businessman in his Grihastha days. So he knew how to spread this business. So he has opened a business in the Western world. What is the big thing in that? Just like Prabhupada tells the story of naked Pancho. You know, Pancho was a small boy. He would move around naked in the village. He grew up and went to become the judge, High Court judge. And people would come and tell, Arey, malum hai una Pancho? Naked Pancho? Ah, he has become judge. Like, kya baat kar rahe? How is this possible? Arey, he would move around naked here. Arey, he has become judge. उसको पक्का सैलरी मिलता नहीं होगा. That's how people, they demean. You know, there is a famous story about Columbus. Columbus discovered India, and people of this country, his country, they were saying, wow, such a great achievement. But some of the people, they're saying, इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है? He just went around the world and found India. What is the big deal in that? Anyone could have done it. कोई भी कर सकता है, उसमें क्या है? What he did, he just went around the world. So, you know, when Columbus heard this, he was really hurt, angry. So he went to the queen and said, you call all those people who are not accepting what I did. They're demeaning my service. So all those people, they came, and Columbus, he took out an egg and he said, can you make this egg stand on the table? Normal egg. So everybody was trying and nobody could do it. So Columbus, what he did, he just tapped the egg at the bottom and made it stand. You know, there is a air sac at the end of the egg. So just see. So all these people say, hey, it is so easy, anyone could have done it. इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है? Columbus said, but I showed you how to do it. Anyone could have done it, but I showed you how to do it. So anybody can say, oh, what Srila Prabhupada did was, what Swamiji was doing, he did, not बड़ी बात है, कोई भी कर सकता है. Now, many organizations are doing it, but it was Srila Prabhupada who started it. That's how Prabhupada is describing what happened to him. Ramaji continues. Translation, please.
O protector of the people in general, please consider the purpose of your being incarnated by Lord Vishnu. The religious principles created by Indra are but mother of so many unwanted religion. Please therefore stop the imitation.
Okay. So again and again, Brahmaji is telling the same thing. Please stop this. Please stop this. Don't do the 100th one. It is creating havoc in the society. Prabhupada writes, instead of creating adverse reactions, it was better for Prithu Maharaj to stop the yajna in the interest of original purpose of an incarnation, to establish government and to set things in order. So Brahmaji is saying, "O master of progeny, you are the king. Think of auspiciousness of the world. If you do all these 100 yajna, there will be inauspiciousness. So please don't do this." And this way, Maitreya Muni, he describes, when Prithu was thus advised by Brahmaji, he abandoned his eagerness to perform yajna and with great affection concluded a peace with Indra. He became affectionate with Indra. He embraced Indra, not out of grudge. ठीक है, अभी ब्रह्मा जी बोल रहे हैं तो छोड़ देता हूँ. No, very affectionately. He showed affection to Indra. They were equal since they were both are Vishuddha Sattva. Interesting. Vishuddha Sattva is doing all these things. That is just Leela, which is happening. Both are Vishuddha Sattva, but Brahmaji saw that Prithu was superior. Why? Because his bhakti was superior. So he made peace. Translation. Next verse.
Hare Krishna. After this, Prithu Maharaj took his bath, which is customarily taken after the performance of yajna, and received the benedictions and due blessings of the demigods, who were very pleased by his glorious activities. Hare Krishna.
So Prithu, he stopped fighting. Indra stopped creating all the religious systems. So we should be very careful how we behave in public. As the leaders or as the members of ISKCON, we are seen in the public as, representatives of something, some organization. We should be careful how we behave in public, what people say about us. We should be beyond any suspicion. That should be very clear. Otherwise, we'll be blamed, society will be blamed, and things will go, havoc, chaos. So Prithu Maharaj, he took his bath, stopped the yajna, and demigods were very pleased with him. Next verse. With great respect, Prithu offered all the rewards to the Brahmanas, and Brahmanas were satisfied. They gave the blessings. Last verse, translation.
All
the great sages and Brahmanas said, "O mighty king, by your invitation, all classes of living entities have attended this assembly. They have come from Pitrulok and heavenly planets, and great sages, as well as common men, have attended this meeting. Now all of them are very much satisfied by your dealings and your charity towards them." Hare Krishna. Last.
So Prithu Maharaj pleased everybody by his humility, by his forgiveness, by his magnanimous nature, by his obedience to the seniors and authorities. So in any Vaishnava assembly, humility reigns supreme. If one is humble enough to give up one's own opinion and follow what authorities are saying, she attracts the blessings of the Lord. He may not be able to do what he wanted to do, but for sure he will get the blessings of the Lord. That is the whole essence of this chapter. Prithor kirte pritho bhuya. Your 99 is greater than 101. Okay, so with this, I'll stop here. That's the end of the chapter. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada
Hare
ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
I'll put the paper in some time, 10 minutes or so. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.